Of Enneacraft, Doomz, and Power Patron. Cool tune? Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on us content. We actually have a competent Enneacraft list. I've been looking around trying to find a list that actually looked very, very fun for this. And I think that this is one of the first lists that I fell in love with. I see we are playing the Sphere mode in the main deck as the, board breaker-esque monster, but we're not going too hard on it, While I do like Sphere mode and I think it does fix a lot of the problems, you can't really toss in 3 of them to expect, it's going to stick around and be a consistent piece. It's just going to be there to actually help you do your job, which is actually really, really cool, man. Love the extra deck being completely irrelevant, but we've also got Triple Dimensional Fissure in the side deck. Once again, we get to see why Dimensional Fissure is kind of regarded as one of those very, very broken cards that gets you the chance to actually sit through and tear apart the opponent's field. Oh boy, we have Doomz. I've been loving that there have been so many different Doomz lists coming to fruition right now. It actually shows, one, that, this deck looks a lot of fun, but it also proves that, you've got different ideologies that you can explore with this. Now, you can see that you've got the triple of the pendulum in here, but we're also playing some go stuff in here, just to kind of make sure that you can kind of get to the rank 4 package a little bit more consistently, because your job is to make sure that you can actually get that end board set up. If you can't actually get your end board set up, well, then your deck just kind of flops on the ground and you're just kind of like, oh, like, what am I supposed to do? And that ends up being, a little bit of a problem. You can't actually not have the deck starting. So I do like the fact that we've got the different level of packages built into this, so you can actually explore and have different end boards. Okay. Oh boy. This whole concept, this has been crazy, that the fact that you can actually make cool tunes with the elf notes actually work. Like, this has been a consistent pile that has been showing up every single week in Japan. And it's so interesting because, like, for you potentially getting tuner locked for the rest of the turn, you just got to be very careful with what you're trying to do. I mean, you can get to the Baron, you can get to the Ching Ying very early on in the combo. It's just, you're going to have to shave down a lot of the additional resources. You need to play the deck like modern era Yu-Gi-Oh! Dictates that you play it like. You're playing 1-ofs in the extra deck so you can set them up on your end board, and you're not really worried about, coming back on the end board to, have the comeback. It's just all or nothing. And I mean, I think that's probably the way to do the overlap here and make this actually work. Next up here, we do get to see an actual pure version of this deck actually working. Though I do see we are playing the little Fiend Smith monster in here that could. Because being able to turn an Armades into the Wave King Kaiser so that you can actually kind of get some initial setup and kind of, protect your end board investment is pretty good. Also, shout out yet once again to having access to triple Secret Village in this list. This has become one of those very common things. I mean, any list that has access to spellcasters needs to go knocking on the Secret Village as that incredibly important end board piece, because it's going to ensure that you're going to be able to get that protection that you need. All right. And I don't want to be losing to some random Mitsurugi spell card resolving. You need your big, setting up a Baron with a Secret Village behind it is going to be, you guys, it's broken. Next up is Vanquish Soul. Now, we've talked about, Vanquish Soul's been trying out all these different little things. This list has actually got a Doggeron built into the main deck. We got a Lava Golem built into the main deck. But I mean, they still have triple Holly Seuss. I mean, they can justify playing the Lava Golem as a potential 1-of in the deck to kind of navigate down some of the different little combo lines that you could be aiming to set up on your end board. That's not a bad thing whatsoever, because I mean, they can justify it because, special summon Holly Sue to be able to go to town is pretty good. Or also, going down the canine rabbit hole also is going to work out. I also do see we're sidecking the Gravekeeper's Inscriptions to be able to put that little soft lock on the opponent. Trust me, being able to have that lock on the opponent ends up being very, very nice just to kind of ensure that you can get the job done. But honestly, Vanquish and the OCG definitely looking like one of those decks you're just going to be like, oh boy, this is fun to play against. Oh, speaking of more Vanquish Soul, once again, we see the difference in variables here. You know, we see that we're playing the Doggeron and we're playing the Lava Golem in this list. Oh boy, I love just getting to switcheroo some of these things. Also, shout out to actually playing the Saruja in this list. You know, the OCG variant still has access to kind of dumping in all of these little extra powerhouse cards just to be able to toggle in and try to deep dive into the additional pieces. And I mean, that's going to be a pretty consistent thing you're going to notice across a lot of these lists is like, you know, if you can make your life easier to digging into additional draw power, you may as well take advantage of it, because if you don't, you know, your strategy is just going to kind of fall to the wayside. And I feel like that's not necessarily what you want to be seeing. Also, once again, we do get to see the Solemn coming into the side deck here and being a massively clutch option. It's very, very, very good. All right, next up, we have some branded for you. Now, this branded duelist is playing triple of the new Dominus in the main deck. It's kind of crazy to me that they just stopped worrying about Impulse. Like, I mean, I guess Impulse does have some of the wider range of locks that could inconvenience you, and the new ones just, you know, you get locked out of the 4 elements. But I mean, like, oh no, I can't Fua, I can't Droll, I can't Ash. I mean, we're going to be resolving those effects before we get to that point, so I don't really think that's going to be much of an issue. We also do see the Invader of Darkness coming into the side deck down here as well. That has been a major talk in a lot of discussions, is like Invader of Darkness going to help you out with certain matchups. And I mean, I think he might. He does definitely seem like one of those powerhouse cards that is going to be a big help for sure. Next up here, we have more Elf notes this time. Once again, we do get to see that this deck loves the Dark Strike Fighter. You know, your job is to make sure that you can get to that little piece and be able to kind of clear up the game as quickly as you can. And also, you know, the Armades being able to pivot into a Wave King Kaiser to kind of set up and protect the board. You know, protect the castle so that you don't actually lose your little key components. So you can do anything. Also, the Secret Village continuing on with being one of those very, very, very stupid, powerful cards for this deck. Like I said, if you just tell your opponent that they can't activate spell cards in the first place, then you just don't have to worry about getting shut out by some of the most ignorant cards within the current landscape. So, I mean, that's what's going on. And I mean, it's going to continue to be something to really consider and look at. So, all right. I see you. So Elf Notes, Tier 1, pretty much confirmed. Next up, we have Radiant Typhoon. Oh my god, Fallen in the Virtuous in this deck is so crazy to think about. And the other thing is the OCG gets access to Featherstorm. And I can tell you, having access to Featherstorm is just a cracked idea, man. Getting the turn skip on the opponent on a deck that already is generating God knows how much advantage this deck is able to set up and actually streamline through is freaking crazy to think about. So, you know, yes, they are accessing and playing Win. I mean, you need that card. That card for the mirror match is freaking stupid. Watching you take your opponent's major players and just allowing yourself to get set up is just so freaking ridiculous. Like, there's a reason why this is one of the better decks. And then we've got more Fairy Tale stuff. Honestly, the Spellcaster Fairy Tale pile has been a very, very refreshing deck to actually see come into the meta. And I don't think players are really expecting too much to be dealing with an active Spellcaster pile. I mean, like, who thought that Spellcasters would be a real challenger within the meta in the year 2026? But I mean, the Fairy Tale stuff was enough to actually give this deck life, and honestly, I'm actually really happy about that. That was the kind of stuff that we needed to see. So the OCG is definitely coming up with some interesting concepts right now, to say the least. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you. Kewl!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.